3, the race to represent the Central Valley in Congress is drawing closer, and a Fresno businessman believes his brand of outsider conservatism will resonate with enough voters to get elected. This week, I sat down with Kyle Kirkland, who believes that career politicians are failing the Central Valley and that now is the time for him to win the race to represent a disenfranchised region at the national level.
What we're seeing today is, too many people just engaging in the fight and the rhetoric and not enough people engaging in results.
Fresno Republican Kyle Kirkland is hoping his success in the business world and perspective as a non-career politician will be enough to propel him to Congress.
We need more practical business experience, people that know how to put their emotions in check or separate the drama from the real data and figure out, okay, how are we going to get to a solution here? And importantly, how to do it on a budget.
The owner of Fresno's Club One Casino and president of the California Gaming Association sees himself as a conservative outsider compared to fellow Republicans Vince Fong and Mike Boudreau, who already hold public office. While his focus on securing the southern border and growing the economy are similar to those of his Republican opponents, Kirkland says his perspective as a businessman sets him apart.
My entire life I've worked in regulated businesses, so I know what it means when small businesses are being suffocated every January with a new flurry of bills that come their way. Small businesses, small farmers, right? The energy industry, industries that are vital to us and incredibly important, but have been suffocated by government regulation, right? And I know that space very well.
When it comes to the economy, Kirkland obviously disagrees with how the Biden administration is handling it, particularly when it comes to regulation, and believes that it's led to people seeing businesses as the enemy. He doesn't consider himself to be anti-regulation, but says the government needs to be listening to businesses about how regulation impacts them.
I would look at those, the vital things that people need, and step out, whether it's energy, food, insurance, things like that, to really look through and say, okay, what are the regulations that we're putting in place? Are they being as effective as they're supposed to be? Or are there ways for us to streamline this, but still keep fairness?
Kirkland also approaches immigration as a business issue as well.
As a business person, I would look and say, wait a minute, we don't have the infrastructure for that. We don't have the housing, the health care, the food, the education, the law enforcement to handle this inflow. We need to think about that.
Well, and so you mentioned you want to see a fair system. Obviously,
right.
That means the system that currently is in place, you don't enjoy that. What does a fair system look like to you?
I think a system looks like where you have controlled borders, right? And we think about both the physical, natural, and virtual borders down there and putting those in place. I think it means giving Border Patrol the resources to do their job and screen people. But also, too, we have to be very clear about, hey, listen, in California, we're struggling to provide housing, health care, food, education to folks that are already here, right? We need to be realistic. It doesn't do any good to have an arc if you just keep putting folks on and sink it.
With just a few weeks until the primary, Kirkland is fighting to jump out ahead in the polls. He recognizes that there are some big names in the field. Even still, he considers himself a frontrunner in the race. For those still on the fence about who to choose,
I see the problems that people are facing in this district. I see the problems that people are facing in this nation, and they are fixable problems. If we get the right people in there that know what they're looking at, know how to solve complicated problems. I want the American dream for the next generation, right? When I leave here, people will be like, hey, the American generation is here and stronger and survivable because of the work that guy did.
Now, I also spoke with Kirkland about the conflicts in the Middle East and Ukraine, our local agricultural community, and his work in animal welfare. We will have an extended cut of that interview up on our website, bakersfieldnow.com, later tonight.